In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, to whom we all have to turn with, honorable listeners and respectable audience, you know that we have started a series of research. In research, I told you about various topics such as what is research, the definition of research, qualitative research, quantitative research, variable and research, relationship between variables. After that, I started the first chapter of research, and it was introduction. How to write the introduction chapter, how to write overview of the introduction chapter, how to write statement of the background of the study of the introduction chapter, how to write statement of the problem in the introduction chapter. Ladies and audience, today I'm going to teach you how to write research objectives and the introduction chapter of research. Listeners and audience, before going to talk about how to write the research objectives, first of all, you must know the aim of the research. And it is also important to write the aim of your research before going to write the research objectives. What is mean by aim? Aim of the research. Aim of the research mean it is something broad. This is the broad perspective, the broad statement of your research which summarize your entire research in a single statement. So a statement that is the purpose of your entire research that summarize it in a single statement, that is called the aim of your research. So your research aim is something general. It is something broad. On the other hand, if you're talking about objectives, objectives refers to the steps which you are taking in order to complete your research. Objectives are the pathways that guide you towards your research. And with the help of your objectives, you will complete your research. So objectives are the pathways. These are the steps which you will be taking practically in order to complete your research. Remember, objectives must be specific. There must be the connection of objective with your topic. One thing. Another interesting and important significant thing is that there will be a reference or connection between your research objectives as well as the statement of the problem. So that's why you must read, understand, visualize, observe, know, and comprehend your statement of the problem with focus and attention. So that connection is quite critical and required. Whenever you are writing research objectives, what you should do, the first thing that is focus upon the topic, the main title. Second, the statement of the problem. And the third thing is that when you are writing research objectives, there must be action verbs. Such verbs must be there in your research objectives. Like for example, to analyze, to evaluate, to determine, to find out, to examine or to evaluate. These action verbs must be there. So there should not be some terms like vague terms like to understand or to know, etc. These action verbs must be there. It means to plus verb, main verb. Now let me tell you stepwise. There is one interesting technique and we call that technique SMART criteria. If your research objectives are under or based on SMART criteria, it means these are perfect, accurate, and absolute for your research because they will represent your research. The first thing, what is mean by S, what is mean by M, what is mean by A, what is mean by R and T. One by one I'm explaining. S stands for specific. So the first quality of your research objective must be that it should be specific. It should not be broad. The M would be broad, which will summarize the entire research in a single statement, but the objective must be specific. Second, it must be measurable. Measurable means that it can be calculated. It can be accountable, accessible. And the third one is it should be achievable. Achievable means attainable, which is under your control. You could have access to it. Where research is possible on that topic. And then relevant. Your objective must be relevant. Relevant, it means that it must be connected to your statement of the problem. It must be connected to the main title of the topic which you have. And the last one is time bounded. Why we are talking here about time bounded? Time bounded mean again, if you are talking about an objective where there is, for example, there is no time or time bounded, again there will be a problem because you will be going to something general and it will not be specific one. Like for example, you see this is the topic, the title, but then when I come to objective, it can be time bounded. For example, the exploration of informal words and the speeches of politicians or in the political speeches of politicians. So now, generally this is the M. This is the title and you can make the M from this. For example, to explore, the first objective is to explore. To explore, fine. To explore informal words and the political speeches of politicians, for example, during 2024, during 2025. So it is time bounded now. It is specific now. It is measurable now. It is relevant now. So if you, for example, apply all these criteria, it is applicable. Let's listen, audience. So now let me make two more objectives. For example, one is already there. Let's say this is the M. If you are making research objectives, now how you will make research objective person? The first one, for example, to explore the use of informal language and the speeches of politicians between 2024 to 2025. One research objective. Second research objective is to compare the use of formal and the use of formal words and the informal words, the use of informal words and the political speeches of male and female politicians. And the third one is to examine the impact, the influence of informal words of the politicians over the people, the audience, for example. However, these are the research objectives which can help you in order to take your research ahead, proceed your research ahead. Hope that this topic is clear to you. Thank you.